No one was ready for what Jin BTS did on stage that night. The music stopped for a second, the lights turned blue, and then he stepped forward like he had something to prove. Fans were already screaming, but what happened next sent the entire arena into chaos. One sudden move, one fearless moment, and everyone completely lost control. People were shaking, crying, recording, unable to believe their eyes. Even now, fans keep replaying the clip trying to understand how Jin turned a single second into pure history. And, trust me, the ending is the part no one can forget. The moment spread across the arena like electricity. Thousands of voices collided at once, creating a wave of emotion so intense it almost drowned out the music itself. Jin stood in the center of the stage with a presence that felt larger than the screens behind him, larger than the lights above him, larger than the night everyone thought they understood before he changed it forever. Every movement carried a kind of confidence that made it impossible to look away. It was not just performance anymore. It felt personal, powerful, and dangerously unforgettable. Fans in the front rows were seen covering their faces, unable to process what they were witnessing in real time. Others held their phones with shaking hands, desperate to capture proof of a moment they already knew would become legendary by sunrise. Across social media, clips began appearing within minutes. Views climbed at a speed that shocked even longtime followers who believed they had seen everything before. But this was different. There was something in his expression, something in the way he controlled the silence between beats, something in the tension of that single instant that made people stop scrolling and stare. Many described it as the second Jin reminded the world that charisma cannot be taught. It cannot be edited into existence. It cannot be faked with camera angles or stage effects. It arrives naturally, unexpectedly, and leaves chaos behind. That night, he seemed fully aware of the impact he had. Yet instead of holding back, he pushed further, leaning into the energy pouring from every corner of the venue. The louder the crowd became, the calmer he looked, as if he knew exactly what was about to happen long before anyone else realized it. What made the moment even more explosive was how quickly emotions changed in the room. People went from cheering to complete disbelief in seconds. Some were laughing from shock, others were frozen, while many simply screamed without knowing why. It was the kind of reaction that cannot be planned. It only happens when an artist taps into something raw and immediate, when timing, confidence, and instinct collide at the perfect second. As clips continued to circulate, fans began analyzing every frame. They slowed the video down, zoomed in, replayed gestures, studied expressions, and debated whether the live experience was even more intense than what cameras captured. Those who were there insisted no recording could fully explain it. They said the atmosphere changed the instant he made that move. They said the air felt heavier, the noise felt louder, and time itself seemed to pause before exploding again. Industry watchers also took notice. Performance experts praised the control he displayed under pressure. Commentators pointed out how rare it is for one spontaneous moment to dominate conversations beyond the fan community. Yet, that is exactly what happened. Casual viewers who knew little about the group suddenly wanted context. New audiences clicked out of curiosity and stayed because they could feel the reaction through the screen. Still, the most emotional responses came from fans who had followed him for years. To them, the night meant more than a viral clip. It felt like a reminder of how much presence he has always carried, even when attention moved elsewhere. They saw growth, fearlessness, and the confidence of someone stepping fully into his own spotlight. Many said they felt proud in a way words could not explain. And just when people believed they had already seen the peak of the night, another angle surfaced online. This version showed the crowd's reaction more clearly than ever before. The screams hit first, then the stunned faces, then the realization that thousands of people were experiencing the same shock at the same exact second. That angle pushed the story even further, sending engagement numbers soaring again. Now the question everywhere is the same. Was this simply an unforgettable concert moment, or was it the start of a new era for Jin on stage? No one seems able to agree. But everyone agrees on one thing. Once that moment happened, nothing about the night felt ordinary again. And the more people watch it, the more impossible it becomes to look away. As the night continued, The energy inside the venue never truly returned to normal. There are performances that entertain, and there are moments that shift the atmosphere so completely that everything after them feels different. This was one of those rare times. Even when the music moved forward and the choreography changed, people were still mentally trapped in the second Jin seized control of the room. It was visible in every section of the crowd. Faces remained stunned, phones stayed raised, and eyes followed him with a level of focus usually reserved for final encores. What made the reaction so powerful was not only what he did, but how unexpected it felt. Fans came prepared for a great show, polished vocals, sharp visuals, and the kind of professionalism that has defined his career. What they did not expect was a sudden reminder that unpredictability can become the strongest force on stage. Jin transformed certainty into suspense. Every step he took afterward carried a new weight because no one knew if another shocking moment was seconds away. That uncertainty became addictive. Across fan communities, people admitted they could not stop refreshing their feeds. New clips were surfacing from every angle. Front-row footage captured expressions the main cameras missed. Upper-level recordings showed how the entire arena moved like a wave when the crowd reacted. Side-stage videos revealed details hidden from the center view. Each version told the same story in a different way. Something extraordinary had happened, and no single camera could contain it. The emotional impact grew deeper as more people revisited the footage. On first watch, many focused on the shock value. On second watch, they noticed the precision. On third watch, they saw the confidence. By the fourth and fifth replay, people began talking about presence, timing, and the years of experience required to create a moment that feels spontaneous while remaining perfectly controlled. That is when the conversation changed from surprise to respect. Longtime fans began sharing older memories, reminding newer audiences that Jin has always carried an ability to command attention in ways that are often underestimated. They pointed to past concerts, award show appearances, and subtle moments where a single glance or gesture shifted the mood of an entire stage. But they also admitted that this felt different. This felt bigger, sharper, and impossible to ignore. It felt like someone fully aware of his power choosing the exact second to use it. Meanwhile, casual viewers who originally clicked out of curiosity found themselves drawn deeper into the story. Many had expected a short viral clip and moved on. Instead, they stayed to learn more about the performer
When
behind the
silence
moment.
speaks louder than words.
Search trends rose.
As
Old
more people
performances
revisited the
resurfaced.
footage, a
Interviews
new
were
perspective
revisited.
began to emerge.
New viewers wanted
One
to
that
understand
focused
how
not
one
on the
person could
action
trigger such a
itself,
massive
but
reaction
on
with
what
such
wasn't
minimal
happening.
effort. The answer never
were no
seemed
words
simple,
exchanged.
which only made the fascination
No visible
stronger.
urgency.
Inside the industry,
chaos.
analysts discussed the
Just
rare mechanics
silence.
of virality. They noted
And
that many
somehow,
moments go viral
that
because they
silence
are
made
loud,
everything
chaotic,
feel
or
even
controversial.
louder.
This one was
In a
different
crowded
because it was
place like
built
an
on
airport,
presence. There was no
silence is
scandal,
rare.
no
There's
forced
always
headline, no
noise,
gimmick. It
announcements,
was a pure reaction to
conversations,
stage
footsteps.
magnetism.
But in
Those
that
moments are
specific
difficult to
moment,
manufacture
seemed
and
to
nearly
fade into the
impossible to
background.
predict.
What
That made this
remained
case
was a
especially
quiet
valuable
interaction
and
that carried
especially
an
memorable.
unusual weight.
Fans who attended in
It's the
person
kind of
described the
silence that makes
emotional
people lean in
aftermath in
closer.
ways that
The
numbers
kind
could
that
never
invites
capture.
interpretation.
Some said they lost their
The
voices
details
before the
people
concert
almost
ended.
missed.
Others said they could
As
barely
the clip
focus on the
continued to
songs that
circulate,
followed because their
eagle-eyed
hearts
viewers
were
began
still
pointing out
racing.
smaller
Many
details,
admitted they went
things
home
that weren't
and
obvious at
immediately
first
searched for
glance.
clips, needing proof
The
that
grip
what
on the
they
cap,
experienced had
firm,
actually
but not
happened.
aggressive.
It was the kind of memory
The
that
angle,
feels unreal
precise,
until replayed.
as if meant to block
Then
a
came another
specific
twist
line of
that
sight.
pushed the story even further.
The timing,
A high-quality
immediate,
close-up angle
almost
appeared
instinctive.
online hours later.
And
This
then there was
version
the posture
captured
of
the
the person
intensity
being
in
covered.
Jin's face just before
No
the crowd
flinch.
erupted. The confidence
step
was
back.
undeniable. The
No
calmness
attempt
was
to remove the
almost
cap.
unsettling. It looked like
Instead,
someone who
there
already
was a
knew the
subtle
effect he was about to
stillness,
cause.
as if they
That
trusted
clip
the person
spread
doing
faster
it.
than the first wave,
That single
drawing in
detail
millions who
shifted
had
the
missed the
narrative for
original
many
frenzy.
viewers.
As more people
Maybe
joined the
this wasn't about
conversation,
hiding.
one theme repeated constantly.
Maybe it was about trust.
There was a sense that Jin
A
had
moment of
crossed an
understanding.
invisible line that night.
Some
Not a line of
interpretations took a
popularity,
softer
because he
turn.
had already achieved that.
What if this wasn't
Not a
something
line of
dramatic
talent,
at all?
because that had long been established.
What if it was simply a
It was
shared
something more
understanding
subtle
between
and
friends?
more powerful. It
Think
felt
about
like a
it.
transition into
How
a
often
new
do
phase
people
of
develop
authority on
unspoken
stage,
signals?
the kind that comes
Small
when skill
gestures
meets
that carry
complete
meaning without
self-belief.
needing explanation?
The emotional side of the story
look.
continued to resonate
A
most
nod.
strongly. Fans
A
spoke
quick
about
action
seeing
that
someone
says,
step into
"I've got you."
confidence without hesitation.
In that context,
They spoke about the joy
moment
of
feels
watching an
less
artist
mysterious
surprise the world
and more
again
human.
after years in the spotlight.
But
They spoke about
then,
pride,
why the
admiration, and the
attention?
thrill of witnessing
If it was
growth in
something
real
so
time.
simple,
For many, it
why
was
did
not
it
just a
capture
viral
so
moment.
much attention?
It was deeply personal.
The answer
Now,
lies
every
in
future
visibility.
performance carries a new question.
In everyday life,
If Jin could
moments
create
like
that
this
level
happen
of shock
all the
in one
time.
instant,
People
what
protect
happens
each
next
other,
time?
help each
Audiences
other,
will
respond
arrive
instinctively
expecting
to
greatness,
situations.
but also
But
watching
most
for
of
the
those
unexpected.
moments go
They will wait for the
unnoticed.
pause before the storm,
This one
the
didn't.
subtle shift in expression, the second the room changes again. And perhaps that is the biggest legacy of the night. He did not just create one unforgettable moment. He made anticipation itself part of every stage he steps onto from now on.